Welcome everybody to Sonderling Inc. episode 23. My name is Sam Leonard and I have some players. Starting with Mr. Satet.
Hello, my name is Tet. I play a half-elf bard named Tuco.
I am Xurder, playing a kobold ranger called Grunto.
I am Holocall, playing a human fighter also called Holocall.
I am Intuitive, playing a human rogue called Hogold Wolfswift. And last time we were, well, not the last time, but just before that, we were rudely woken by a devil that attacked us. We started the stream just after that fight, and the bartender came upstairs and was wondering what happened to its tavern. So we stunned the bartender a little bit. We did some investigation for ourselves, and it looked like it was a planned attack against me. And it was a horned devil we recognized afterwards. So after talking to the bartender a little bit, we sought after another inn where we had something to eat and to sleep, I think, as well. And we found a gambling establishment there as well. We probably did not do anything with. But after that, we got on the train. It was a lovely ride through the landscape, going up and down hills, and we ended up in another town, I think called Saint Meadow, if the card is right. We got something to drinks for Gruntos there because he didn't like the drinks on board. And after that, we're going to eat. Once we discovered on the eating table, or at least some of us did, there were two old guards there from Anya. And basically, that's a little bit where we ended. Oh, and we don't have all the time in this city because the train is going to leave again soon.
Yep. So we'll pick up right where we left off. So you guys got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before the train is scheduled to depart. Like I said, these two servers, they cottoned on to who two of you were. You all four noticed their little wordless message they passed between the two of them. But other than that, they continue to clear the table, give you guys dessert, and head out, like back to the back room.
I want to cast message on one of those.
Okay. Do you want to join me in the other room?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There we are. What's your secret message?
Don't be alarmed. This is just a spell from one of the guests at the table. You might recognize me. I'm Holgold. And I've seen you before as a guard of Enya. Are you undercover here, or is this just your new job? You can reply on this message if you want.
Hello. Please reply by pressing 2 at the end of this message. All right. So you can't see him because he had just passed beyond the door when you sent your message. Give me a charisma roll, please. Okay. His response back is oh crap, I just forgot what you asked. If this was his new job or if he was still working for Anya?
Yes.
His response back is essentially I had to find a new job in town because the money ran out. That's pretty much all the message he can get back to you.
Okay, I know enough.
Okay. All right.
So only Holocol recognized them as the guards, right?
Yes, because only Holocol actually met them. Tuco and Grunthos would never met her guards.
Then as I said, just to Holocol, like, our old friends have new jobs here because the money run out.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
The dessert is lovely and tasty and fitting for what you guys had eaten for supper. I don't even remember what I described last time. About the time you guys are wrapping up, and the plates are being cleared, a lot of the other people who you saw in this establishment who were on the train are getting up and leaving. Some of them well into their cups because supplied with basically an endless supply of very good wine to go along with supper. There's a slip dropped off on your table, which is the cost for this meal. It is probably 3 brass a person, so 12 brass for the meal, which is a very expensive supper, but quite tasty to go with.
I tossed 3 brass on the table.
Tito.
Four. Hey, I leave a tip.
I stand up to go to the bathroom.
There is one.
Yeah, I guess we should get back to the train then.
Yep.
So do you pay Satet or do you leave without paying?
In the interest of just doing something different, I'm gonna try to dine and dash pretending I'm going to the bathroom.
All right. So you guys head out of the inn. Satet, please give me a stealth roll. Everybody else give me a notice check, please. See if you guys notice the fact that Satet didn't pay. And if you want or don't want to do anything about it, I guess it's up to you. But
My dexterity is so high, and yet I always roll so crap.
all right, so everybody noticed that Tuco did in fact not pay. Did anybody else notice? But Tuco, you think you get out without the staff noticing. And back to the train?
The whiskey is being delivered there, right?
Yes.
Then I would say yes. I'm gonna hurry up and go as fast as I can in a casual but swift manner.
All right. You guys head back to the train. People are boarding on the other train. The train heading the other direction is pulling or has pulled into the station and is currently cross-loading a couple of things into your guys' train. Or no, it wouldn't do that. Never mind. It's not doing that. But your train is closing up. People are getting on board. And people from the other train are working, like, you're getting off, heading into town, all that sort of fun jazz. Probably 15 minutes before you were told it was the drop dead time to board. You guys hear the conductors yell, "All aboard!" and they start checking to see if anybody else looks like they're boarding on. start going through through the things, making sure everybody has valid tickets, all that sort of fun stuff. You guys have been on the train for long enough. You're well enough known. They didn't even bother asking you guys for tickets because you have had valid tickets going all the way to Kartuk. So you they don't even bother asking you for tickets anymore, or don't even bother asking you for tickets. And fairly close to the appointed time of leaving, probably 5-10 minutes late, they get you guys see them close up the locks of the doors. You hear the train get started, and you are again accelerating out of Sand Meadow, going on to other places. Let's move this to here. So you get Sand Meadow is this town here. You guys are in for probably 8 days of rail. Like, there's no this current train doesn't have any planned stops until you get to a very small settlement here. There's short stops every 2 to 3 days. Like if another train's coming from the other direction and they need to get off on a side track or kind of works the time, but there's like, this is not a settled part of the country. So it's like there's nothing much here. For those of you who have lived in this part of the world would probably know. So that would be Horgold for sure. Holic probably yes. Tuco absolutely sure. Grunthos less sure. Until recently, this area was completely unsettled because there were Buellets and other monstrous beasts in this part of the world. You can see the evidence of about every 2 days when the train comes to a stop, you see like little communities growing. If it's a stop to resupply, you actually see like people starting to live here, but no real towns have formed yet in this area. But let's see, we got 3 days to that town. Stop every 2 days along the way. 2, 4, 6, call it 8, 9 days until you get to that crossing there, which there is a larger settlement that has grown up there because it's a major road between this town, which I don't remember how the name of, and Travstown. It's not an incorporated city yet, but is definitely starting to, like, there's a few hundred people, a restaurant, that sort of thing. So if there's anything you guys want to do on the train for the next 9 days.
Eat, sleep, play games.
Perfectly reasonable. You guys notice that after about 4 days of travel, the train perceptibly picks up speed and the entire trip like smooths out. And you get the definite impression that you are on the way. You guys are definitely headed downhill. And Grunthos is about to roll a whole bunch of saves. See if he fails any of them.
So how fast does the train go?
You at this point, it accelerates. It'll accelerate for almost a full day and then slow down for you can tell that it speeds up and slows down. It gets going probably 60 or 70 miles an hour at its peak. This length of track is fairly relatively level and straight. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna have to talk with Mr. Grunthos here in a minute. But shipping anything interesting. So Tuco, they mostly the conductors in the train that you like in this part of the train don't really know what's in the shipping manifest. They're not in charge of that. They let you know that the guys in the caboose would know what's all on the train and where it's all loaded, but they don't know anything. And I would like Mr. Zerder to join me in the sideboard, please. So, Grunthos, you find yourself after the stress of the train, or the stress of the train ride and everything. You don't even know 100% sure why, but you find yourself having slipped one of the coins in your mouth, one of the iron coins in your mouth, one of the iron coins. We'll go with that. One of the iron coins in your mouth. And you find it like dissolving on your tongue like a candy. So you have been unable to experience any sort of intoxication from alcohol for the last you don't know how long. And this tastes better on your tongue than any alcoholic drink you have ever had. And it is, just like dissolves kind of into like a candy does. And after a couple minutes of sucking on it, you find that it has dissolved completely. And you feel refreshed and happy, and just all is right with the world in a way that you haven't felt in a long time. For purposes of game notes, temporary, you have 2 magical temporary strength. So I don't know if you have anything else that would give you a strength bonus, but this would stack with that. And you do not need to make con saves for the next week. So the strength bonus lasts a week, and you don't need to make any con saves for a week. You effectively have no con score. Make sense? Understand? Any questions?
Yep. Just give me so the next roll would be a day before we hit the. I need one more concept before we hit the late.
Right. I will warn you that the next con, it will again start with DC 5, increase by 5 per week until you fail a roll. The next time you do it, you will consume more than a single coin's worth of iron. If you I want to ask you a question of your character, not of your player. At this point, would your character be trying to figure out what's going on, or would they just accept this? The iron tasted great, whatever, and we're going to continue on? Or would your character be like, I think something may be wrong?
He would try to figure. He knows something is very odd.
Okay.
Not necessarily wrong, just odd.
Okay.
This is not how coins work.
And
So
none of the other coinage in your, like, if you stick a brass coin in your mouth, it doesn't do the same thing. It was only the iron coin that did it. And
so while he wouldn't try to turn over the entire world to find out, he would start thinking of how to ask questions.
okay. It's something would be good for your character to try to figure out how to do. I'll leave that up to your brain to figure out. There was one more thing I wanted to say. and I don't remember what it is. So, and yeah,
That was the
the last one before.
before the crossing town.
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. Alcohol. So you drinking your whiskey. It tastes wonderful, just like you expect it to taste. And during this week, while the iron is in your basically while the iron is in your blood, you are able to feel that buzz that alcohol gives you, but you're able to also like turn it off at an instant. So you can go from, you can get drunk, but you also find that if you say want to be sober, you can instantly sober.
Okay. that he likes.
Yeah, and with that revelation, would your character be more likely or less likely to investigate?
About the same.
About the same.
I
Okay.
would say.
All right, let's go back to the other room and we'll go. All right. So 9 days pass. It is the 26th of Emerald. I think this town really is just called Crossing. Or maybe Train Crossing, since it didn't exist before this, and it is on a major trade route. And so the reason the town here is springing up really is that there's a train crossing here that stops. Okay. You pull into town. There are there are as you guys pull in, this place is a fairly deep train depot. There are at least 4 other rail lines leaving this place. And there are 3 trains waiting in this station as you guys arrive. As you guys disembark from the train, I guess you're told that the train will be here a full 24 hours. You get in around noon. They'll be leaving around noon the next day. You guys get told, the train will be leaving in about 24 hours from now. There are hundreds of people, look like travelers, also in this town, and there are probably about 1,000 or maybe 1,500 people who look like rail workers, like working on cross-loading trains and unloading things. One of the trains, one of the train tracks, so there's spokes going out. So one track goes up to Kartuk. One track goes towards Travstown. One track goes towards this town here. There is also another track headed, like, it looks obviously like an engineering train. So there's a train engine and the collier, and there's also like four train cars of rails and another like 3 train cars of like ties, and there's another cargo wagon full of who knows what else. And that is on a track loaded to go toward Travstown. And yeah, there's asking around a little bit, really, right? Asking around a little bit. There's also another one going to be coming into town soon. That is, delete that. They're working on adding a line from this town to Kirsch. So there's no rail there yet. They got it about half constructed. They have to give they found that some of the land along there is kind of marshy and yucky, more than they had realized. And so they're like mages who specialize in moving dirt around have had to spend more time than expected adding that rail line.
How much does being a dirt moving mage pay? Just curious. That seems like an odd magic job.
It is a bit of an odd magic job. They used to, asking around, they used to hire like generic, like just you go out and you find a wizard in a town like Convergence or Kartuk, and you'd have him or her come out and work on moving the dirt. And they found that the wizards who did that hated it, because it was really boring work. You basically casting the same spell all day, basically using as much of that one spell as you possibly can. You spend days, if not weeks, and they found that with a little bit of training, people who were less skilled than an actual wizard could be taught how to cast these spells. And basically they spend half the time training them on how to cast the magic, and the other half of the time is training somebody on how to engineer dirt. So the people actually get to be really skilled at earth moving, earthworks. And there's more people who can do it rather than just generic. I'm a wizard who can cast fireball, also cast stone to mud, or mud to stone, or that sort of thing, and they pay on the order of a brass a day. When they get paid on the order of a brass a day, or maybe even more than that, when they're actually doing work. It is a very, very good wage, especially once you have a little bit of experience, and you can help the train engineers who are laying the tracks make bonuses for covering land faster. You definitely get the impression from talking to people here that the rail line that's in Convergence, that currently just mostly loops around and goes back out, is not the end of the line. Plans are to follow along, but not too close to the river, down to Pirosh Gazlo, and then from there down to Kapivar, basically connecting Kapivar to Pirosh Gazlo with the train line. The line from Convergence to Pirosh Gazlo going downriver probably won't carry much cargo, because you can throw a whole lot more weight on a ship going downstream than you can on a train going that same direction. But they expect there's going to be a lot of cargo heading from Pirosh Gazlo to Convergence, because a heavily laden ship going upstream is a challenge. There's also talks about extending the rail line into the Elven lands, but they apparently haven't gotten that sort of thing worked out yet. While you guys are here in town, there's anything else you would like to learn, ask questions about? You get rid of the tree-hugging elves first. I mean, the elves have fought many a war to prevent the humans from the kingdoms to their north and west from taking their trees.
I don't think there's anything I care to do here.
All right. You were there. Indeed, you were.
I'll just use the day to scoop around town to investigate, I guess, if I can see more of Enya's former troops, or maybe actual.
Give me a investigate roll, please. Oh yeah. So probably in the evening, you are looking around, and you run into one of Anya's lieutenants. I think she had 3, from what I remember. And he is currently like, he's got a clipboard and he's got stuff, and he is checking off things that load onto one of the trains headed towards Travstown, like the more like construction looking train. He's got a clipboard in hand, and he's going through, like, doing an inventory of everything that's loaded onto this train. And he is wearing the rail, what you guys have come to recognize as the rail uniform, which is in Kartuk colors, although it is like leather pants and a leather vest.
Safety boots.
Safety boots, yep. Like hard wearing clothes, but definitely a uniform set of clothes.
I'll approach him.
Okay. You look much the same as you did. So he turns around, he blinks a few times. Horgold?
I know.
His name. I don't think I ever gave him a name. So I will give him a name now. NPCs. Let me actually check my notes first. Nope, did not give him a name. NPC list. So he is Axel Gerber. We'll go with. You recognize him as Anya's most junior lieutenant from when you were with her in Convergence.
So you had to switch jobs as well.
he kind of looks down at his outfit and kind of has a chagrined look on his face, and says, well, I kind of did. Tell you what, meet me here after, or meet me in the Railhead, and which is the name of the bar here in town. After I get off, and we can talk. I gotta finish this first, though.
Yeah, sure. What time?
Call it 8.
Yeah, sure. I need to be on the on the train again tomorrow, so it'll be fine.
He nods and goes back to his work. So for the rest of you, the Railhead is the only bar in town. It is, in fact, not an inn. It doesn't have any rooms. It looks like if people want to have a place to sleep in this town and they are not a member of the rail establishment, there is a hostel here. And it is called the what would it be called? Probably the Iron Crossing. So the Railhead is the bar, the Iron Crossing is the inn. They are not like in the same building.
Yeah, but we can sleep on board, right?
Yes, you absolutely can sleep on board. You're under the impression from the train engineer or the train guys that they trust you more if you do. Or
Yeah,
at least
then
it's
I'll
simpler
do-
for them.
Yeah, I'll do nothing until depends on what the rest of the party wants to do.
All right.
Then I'll just go to the bar at.
All right. So what are the rest of you doing with your afternoon/evening.
I want to send a letter to Kiva.
All right. Does it need to be private, or can you just let me know what it is?
I detail our continued travels to Khartoum via rail and my conundrum, and ask for if she can figure out something about it and maybe send me some reply fast.
All right. You are able to find a place that is willing to take your letter at the hostel. Um, my brain reset. It is probably a brass from here to get to Auckland, and then from there to find your sister. They're not sure how long it'll take.
That's okay. Just sending letters.
Okay.
Cookie crumbs.
Right. So, hold on. Hollick, I would like you to meet me in the sideboard, please. Apparently, this is just a sideboard everybody session. I forget what was the contents of your last letter, because a letter would have caught up to you about now, and I'm trying to remember what it was, so I tell you what you find.
It was just status updates where we are headed. Still on trail of Anya, and to what are the plans?
Okay, so you get a reply. Oh shoot, I just forgot her name, but I have it here handy.
Lupe?
Yeah, from Lupe. You get a reply from Lupe, telling you that that your house is good. That she's glad that her patron basically is glad you're still looking for Anya. If you get anything more specific, let us know. And that her patron has intervened on your behalf, and retained the lawyer that you guys hired, because after the trial of I cannot think of his name. The guy who claimed to own the boat that you guys are flying around on. For attempted murder. After his trial and incarceration, there was a hearing determining the ownership of the boat, and you guys have been awarded. Full rights to it. But you need to basically you're gonna have to get like documented proof of it. You need to go to Auckland for the full like court documentation. But she says, don't worry about doing that right now. Our patron has her claws in enough places that you guys should not be. If your boat is impounded, you can send a note, and we will get you back relatively quickly. This letter looks like it probably left Auckland about 3 weeks or maybe even a little further ago. And it basically followed you. Looking at it, it got to Kirsch and then started down the road towards Convergence. And when you guys it basically got turned back to Kirsch and then ran up the road that way. So there's apparently some sort of a little bit predictive into where these letters are. You know that they're magical, at least a little bit. All right. Anything else? Got anything else? Yeah. No.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
that's it.
All right. So, around 8 Horgold, you are in the bar. You see Axel come in. Hollick, are you there as well?
Sounds like the only thing to do here, so yes.
All right. So you recognize him from Anya's crew as he comes in and sits down at the bar. He kind of is looking around. Tuco and Grunthos, assuming you're in the bar as well.
Where else would I be?
I was gonna say, I don't know. Tuco, you playing?
Yeah, I'll just tag along.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on as a character. It's just following the others as they seem to be investigating stuff.
Okay.
Hey, it's a bar. Maybe you can perform.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna narrate you to being performing at a little side stage. What sort of music are you playing? This place is filling up with both train patrons and train crew.
Songs about labor relations and the hard-working man, and how the top man, keeps him down.
Give me your performance check. I want to see how well this goes.
I'd like to jam along to this.
Ooh, good thing that wasn't with disadvantage. So you think that your performance goes over well. You're assisted by Grunthos. He's the one who kind of starts the hands clapping and the singing along with the things during the chorus and pretty much
I have a flute.
right. Pretty much at this point, everybody in the bar is paying attention to the two of you. About this time, Axel will recognize Horgold, and he will head over to wherever you're sitting, Horgold.
Just at a table.
All right.
And I order an extra beer for him.
He takes the beer and swigs a pretty heavy drink, and you know, I don't mind living in this part of the world, but the humidity is killer out there. Anyway, Horgold, it's been a long time. How are you? How have you been?
I'm doing good. But have you heard anything about your former boss?
I'm I haven't. She sent us on the train. She sent us on the train a while back. She gave me the money to pay everybody, and I mean, I kept everybody's wages going as long as I could, but she just up and disappeared, and eventually the money, I hate to say it, but the money ran out. You guys haven't heard anything from her, have you? He looks to both Hollick and Horgold. And who are the two you're hanging out with? The little one is weird.
Just some people we picked up in our journeys. But yeah, I'm more interested in our former boss. And yeah, Hollock, have you heard something from?
From what?
So I guess
Tuco
not.
was playing so loud I didn't understand you.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, she just disappeared. to Axel. She just disappeared with no word after.
Do you think something happened to her? I know she was getting on that she was headed to the east over the mountains. She wouldn't really tell us what was going on. But she's headed to the east. I know that. She was supposed to get established somewhere and then send word to us to tell us where to go. I mean, I think she was trying to send us off as a distraction or like to cover her travels, but I don't really know. She didn't really tell us where she was going. She just said that she would let us know when she got there.
So what's your meaning of staying in touch?
She gave us some rings of some message rings, and he holds his hand up, but a few weeks ago it just I never got a response. I would send off a message. Before that she would respond within a day or two. I mean, I wasn't her most important person, but I'd like to think I was trusted. She would it was reassuring to get a message back, and then all of a sudden it just we stopped getting responses. He takes the ring off his finger. You don't it's not like the message is not getting through. Could I have an Arcana check from both of you? Hollick, you are familiar with enough with these rings. If so, they're paired, or I guess you could have multiples going to the same ring, or like they're paired in such a way that if there's no other end, the spell would fail. So if the other end of his message had been destroyed, then it would be different than the other end of his message not responding. And you're getting the impression from him that the other end is not responding, not has been destroyed.
Okay.
But he takes another swig, orders, holds up hand to the barmaid, gets beers for the table. He says, I mean, are you looking for her? I mean, do you think I can't. I mean, I gotta eat. I can't just go out and go looking for her. Do you think you guys could find her? We have a little money left. I could pay you to go looking.
Yeah, but yeah, I will go look for her, but probably need your ring then.
He leaves the ring on the table in front of you. Yeah, I don't know for sure if you can use it to contact her, or maybe you could have a wizard say, put something on it to help track her down or something. I don't know, but whatever you need. And I only have a couple hundred brass left, but if you could find her for me and make sure she's safe, it would be a great comfort to me to know. He drinks. He's drunk another half of his beer, and about that time he slams the rest of it down and goes, look, I should probably head out, guys. I don't know that I can stay all night. I got to work tomorrow morning early because the train's headed out. But if you let me know, I mean, if you let me know what you find, I'd greatly appreciate it. Hope nothing's bad's happened to her.
So you're staying in the train crossing town, or?
I'm headed out with the train to Travstown. They're building tracks up to the mines. Some real interesting work. There, it's got the track's got to be like real switchback. You can't go above a certain grade. We're almost 3/4 of the way up the mountainside to the mines. It's real fun work, but they needed somebody who is like can organize stuff, and apparently that's me because apparently I got a good head for numbers or something. Anyway, it's great work. It's fun to see. It's fun to see what they're doing. But yeah, no, I head out. I'm gonna head out on the train tomorrow. So, history check.
Do you have something unique on you?
Do I have something?
Like a family heirloom or something like that that I can recognize you by?
He turns over his he actually probably be in his pocket at this point. He has a lapel pin bearing Anya's like image, but it is not a normal one. It is like enameled, made out of precious metals. There is a emerald. There's an emerald in like inset in the eyes of the dragon, and like the body of it is made out of brass, and it's much similar to the other pins that Anya's troops were wearing, but this one is like special. He's like, yeah, I think this counts.
Just want to see it and memorize it, so if we are close enough, I can find.
He nods and lets you handle it until you're done memorizing it.
And I'll pick up the ring.
All right.
And
yeah, no, let me know what you find. I'll have the money delivered to your train car. I saw you guys get off. He points over at Grunthos. I recognize him from you guys hanging out here in town, and it was pretty obvious which car you guys came out of. So I'll have the money delivered there. Yeah, no, I hope to hear from you soon. I hope you're able to find her.
yeah, we'll see.
All right. He puts down his mug. He heads up to the bar. And said you guys get another round of beers delivered to your table. Obviously he's paid for your night's tab, and he heads out. Tuco, you have earned probably half the bar is singing along with any songs that you sing that they recognize, and you've probably earned 3 brass in mostly bronze coinage, in tips and stuff at this point.
Can't complain. Is Grunthos still singing? Because he should be tipping.
The tips are pooled for the two of you.
Playing the flute.
All right. The evening passes. Anything else you guys want to do for the night before we head out?
Nope.
All right.
So I'm going to talk to these guys. So I noticed you were talking to someone there. What's going on? Who's
Old friend.
old friend? Seemed pretty consecrated. Never mind. I can't even think what I was going to say. It seemed pretty intense, more than just an old friend.
Yeah, we have some history together, so yeah, we talked a little bit.
All right.
Are you trying to hide what you were gonna have conversation with Horgold, or will you let Tuco know over the course of the conversation?
Well, I think in the conversation as it was, nothing was told to get people any clue? I think we do that really well in code tonight.
All right, Horgold, I'll need a will save from you.
Will. Is that wisdom?
Yes, wisdom.
I use inspiration.
Hey, somebody used inspiration for once! Yay! All right, that means your will save succeeded. Gain insight to wisdom. Okay. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment.
If it doesn't work on Horgold, I can shift my focus to Hulk.
So you don't get any further than the surface thoughts of Horgold. The surface thoughts of Horgold. I think he is well mental disciplined enough that it's not gonna give anything away. So go ahead and shift your focus to Hollock Hall.
He gets a wisdom save too.
Yes,
Dang
he gets a wisdom save as well.
Haha!
Yes. So from Hollock Hall, you will learn the trend of the conversation that they had with Axel. Basically that he was Anya's lieutenant and that they had previously met with him, and that he basically gave them a quest to track down Anya and gave Horgold a ring.
Well, at this point, if it was Total War, a big red lettering says distrust +10 or whatever would have popped.
Right. You never meant. Yes, Horgold. You managed to work that very carefully, but the Axel did in fact mention Anya. Either way, the target knows you're probing into his mind. They do? I didn't catch that part. Did you fail his insight? Spell ends. Target knows that you're probing. So I guess that's true. Reading the thing a little more, Hollock, you know that Tuco has used a spell on you to read your brain.
Well, wait. That's only if I probe deeper, not just the things that's most on its mind.
Well, that's what you were doing. That's what the wisdom saving throw detail is.
All right, that's fine. Trust is broken anyway, so might as well be both ways.
Right.
Okay.
So you know that that Tuco has read your thoughts at a certain level. What you want to do about it is, I guess, up to you.
Nothing at this point.
Right.
I look at him quizzically.
When we walking back to the train and stuff like that, I make sure I walk behind him. Just to get him on his nerves a little.
Give me an intimidate check, please, Horgold. Tuco, I would like you to roll probably wisdom to counter the intimidation. Yeah, you're not too overly worried about it.
Grr.
All right. The evening wanes on. In the middle of the night, one of the trains leaves down towards Convergence. The other trains look like they're still doing cross-loading. Probably early morning, another train pulls in from Kartuk, or from the direction of Kartuk. And that, people disembark from that as well. And it gets, mid-morning. The rail cars have their normal morning food service, and you guys, and they start about probably an hour before noon. They start closing up the train, getting everybody ready, letting people know, hey, we'll be leaving around noon. And yeah, guys head off toward Kartuk. And let's see, it's probably another. So that was 3 days. That was another 9 days. I said this was about a 2-week journey. We're at 11 days. So it's probably about. You think you guys have lost a little of the time they expected. It's probably 5 days from here all the way to Kartuk. Gonna stop at about 3 days in, and then the last 2 days are basically a run downhill towards Kartuk itself. Anything you guys gonna do for the next 5 days of travel?
I'm mostly going to be quiet, keep to myself, and stay out of the cart as much as possible. Just stay in the other cars.
So, I need to look up the next month. There we go.
We took another round. I probably gonna ask the Holocron, what was he doing? Did it cast a spell on you as well?
Beg your pardon, I'm breaking up. I didn't understand that.
Did he cast a spell on you earlier on?
In fact, he did.
Can
I'm not
can
sure
we
what to
trust
make of it.
Tuco? Yeah. We need to keep an eye on him.
All right. As you guys get close to Kartuk, you can see an incredible amount. So Kartuk is not as big as Kirsch. It's probably only about 3/4 the size. But the thing you notice. Yep, go ahead and make them. The thing you guys notice is that there is an incredible amount of industry going on. Even evidence like the last few hours before you guys pull into town, you see workshops and like metalworks and things that look everything in the world like places that things are built all along the rail here. As you guys arrive in the station, this place is an incredible bustle. Basically, the train pulls in. Everybody is thanked for the ride. Thank you for traveling with us. I hope you can travel with us again. And within an hour of the train disembarking, they have pulled the train forward and are obviously like pulling it into an area where they can separate the cars from the engine, and like the cargo wagons all go into one area to be unloaded, but not on the main rail platform. All the passenger cars go to a different area to be unloaded and switched around, and this place is a bustle of people, probably only a third of which are wearing the outfits, the outfits of the rail industry, the rail company, whatever owns this rail place. But there are people who, like, you see a wagon pull up, a heavily laden wagon pull up with like 8 draft horses pulling it, and it's pulling into the thing and dropping, and you see that there are lengths of rail in its thing. You see another wagon pull up, and it is full of like sand or grit. You're not 100% sure what exactly that is. There are carts pulling up that have food on them. They're pulling away. They pull away with food on them. There's just an incredible bustle of activity. It is, call it 2 p.m. You guys were served lunch on the train before it arrived in town. Yeah, and it's about 2 o'clock, 1400 ish. There are 3 rail platforms here, like for people loading and unloading. And it's like, as you sit and watch, there's a train that pulls in. That was okay. So your guys' train pulled in, unloaded its people, pulled off the other side. Not long after that, another train pulls in. You guys are getting the impression that it was on the same line that the one you guys basically pulled in from behind you. You're not exactly sure where it came from. You know, no evidence of it behind you because there wouldn't be. You wouldn't notice that, but like maybe 2 hours after you guys pull in, if you're still there. And there's also there is also a train here that is like sitting at the third track, or the third rail platform area, and it is decked out in, like, the entire length of it is decked out in finery. Like brass filigree is covering every wagon. The engine car is there's like two engine, so it'd be engine car collier, and then there is like three passenger type wagons, and there are 2 heavy bronze sided wagons that they like incredibly heavy looking, and then there are 2 cabooses after that. And that trains is in town, and you're and basically for as long as you're in the station, you see it sitting there. Don't know how long you're gonna be there.
Well, you guys wanted to go here. What to do?
You going to a temple at Daha and go? Okay. Anybody gonna go along with Mr. Grunthos?
I'll go a little bit with him, and then I will say have my own business to deal with, and then skip into a side street or something.
Okay. Hulk or Tuco?
I'm assuming, since I've been here before, that I probably have someone I know or some location I'm familiar with. I'll head to there.
Absolutely. You probably have actually a few bars that have treated you well. Some more noble people noble people. It's more rich people who you know fairly well. Yeah, all that sort of thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. As we all still are together, also, where are we going to meet after everybody is done? Which inn are we going to stay in? 'Cause I think I know a couple of names just from hearing and saying when I was in Chaos, but I don't think I know the place that well.
Tuco, you definitely would be the most familiar with this town.
Recommend you head on over to the Rascally Weasel. It's over in the southwest area of town. You can't miss it.
All right.
So the first one there, just book us 4 rooms and we all meet up there.
That'll work.
Works for me.
All right. We'll handle this in top of the thing order. So we'll start with Hollock. What are you doing before we all head to the Rascally Weasel?
Actually, I'm not sure. I have no clue what to do, so maybe visit the market, look around, some sightseeing or such.
All right. This town is a bustle of activity, very industrial, I guess, more so than any other city you've ever been in. Blacksmith shops like litter the market. You could buy anything here for any price. There are merchants selling magical items and trinkets that they claim are magical and probably aren't. And if you wanted to buy 1000, if you wanted to buy 100 plows to work 100 fields, you could go to one blacksmith shop. And um, you get the impression of heavy industry and wealth. Off in the distance, above the market, you see the University of Kartuk, place of higher learning. You can recognize like kids who look like they're going to the university. Like they have books and notepads, and they're walking around the market talking to people. There are cafes and restaurants in the market that offer any comestible that you would care to have, from the rarest of like pufferfish liver from the islands south to the most basic roast beef sandwich that you have ever had. But if you don't plan on doing anything else, we'll go ahead and move right along. Horgold.
I'm walking along with Gruntus a little bit, right?
Yep.
I want a sideboard afterwards anyway, so maybe we can do this in sideboard with Gruntus.
Okay.
And me too.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Gruntus, we discovered that Tuco investigated our mines in the other town, and I don't trust him anymore. You know, he's new to the party, and I don't know. It's not really nice to probe your friend's minds. And he did it to me and Holocol. I don't know if he tried it to you as well.
No, I don't. Can't see that. Can't no think that he has.
So yeah, I think we need a make sure he doesn't, break up the party that we have or does anything strange at this point because he's, probing your friend's minds. I don't think that is a friendly action.
It's not the first thing I would do, at least.
So yeah, I need to head off to the left here. So yeah, go to your temple and we'll meet up in the Rascally Weasley or something.
Yeah, will do.
Okay.
Please give me a perception check.
Yes. Where is it?
With a 9. Okay, you don't notice anything out of place. All right. What else? So now that you are separated from Mr. Grunthos, what's up?
I'm going to use the ring, my ring,
Okay.
to send a message to Anya or whoever's handling it. Like, is everything okay? I heard you disappeared. I've seen the old troops. What can I do to help?
The ring you had from Axel, or the ring you had from what's his bucket?
You know,
Simone.
I sent the same message to both rings.
All right. So Simone was Magda's person, not Anya's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent the same message to both.
Okay.
But I for the other ring from MacLeod is fun. You know, we don't hear from Anya, and you know, is she in trouble? Instead of the other one is more directed to Anya.
Okay. So the message to the ring for Anya goes through, but you do not get any response back from it. The message to Simone takes probably a couple hours to get some sort of response back, but basically says her disappearing is. I mean, we were pretty sure she. We knew she had, or no, what would he know? He said that's worrying information. If you have a wizard cast seeking spell on the ring, because did you let him know that you had a ring from Anya?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, if you have a wizard cast a seeking spell on that ring, it can give you a direction to its pair. So basically, you could use it as a seeking stone or something to track at least where the pair of that ring is.
That's all I want to know, and I think I spent the rest of the day before I head back to the inn that we discussed to search for a wizard. But let's get back to the rest.
Okay. Tuco, you're next.
I'm gonna go to wherever I would know would be more of an information broker, like a bar that tends to deal in information.
You absolutely know of a place. It is a dive bar on the river, and you're pretty sure that the only people, like, this place is the place where spies go to go talk to each other. Oh, I want to see. Okay, I don't know if she is in town. Give me a chance. I'm gonna make a luck roll. That is not good enough. So she is not in town. All right. So you go here. There's probably 3 or 4 people hanging out. These you recognize as people who trade in information. So they are willing to sell you information for a coin. But if you can give them juicy information in return, they will give you discounts, sort of thing.
Right, but there's no one specific I would know. Like Smitty doesn't help me out or anything.
There's none of them that have a negative relationship with you. So, if you, yeah, let's say you know one of these people, female. I'm gonna give you a name. we'll go with Patricia Huber. All right.
Hey, long time no see.
What, Tuco? What are you doing in town?
Well, if you got a moment, I'd love to ask you some questions, maybe share some information.
She smiles at you. You know, Tuco, I always have time for you.
I order up a couple beers and wander to the corner.
All right. So you guys head to the corner. The beer, you know from experience in this place, is heavily watered down. The only thing this place has going for it is the fact that people know that it is a place where people come. She smiles at you. So, Tuco, I haven't seen you in months at this point. Maybe was it a year ago? You've been out for so long.
Well, that's the life of a bard. Wander around, wreak havoc. I was also trying to find my brother, and that hasn't gone so well. But I've hooked up with some, I guess they were friends of his. I'm not so sure now. So I thought I'd ask, do you know anything about a person or entity named...
And she gets a half worried expression on her face. Anya, are you sure?
Well, we were supposed to be looking for other reasons, but I feel like the group I'm traveling with, I thought they were my friends, but they're hiding something from me about her, and they're not sharing, and at this point, it doesn't look like they're going to. So I thought I'd see what I could do to maybe at least locate or know where she's at or what's going on. Like, I at least want to know that I'm not in serious amounts of danger, or my brother even.
Well, I don't know about your brother. I don't know what he's but Anya, from what I've heard, she's bad news. She whispers it under her breath. I think she's a dragon. At least that's what my sources tell me. She's been causing trouble for a long time. Rumor has it that she tried to cause an insurrection in Kirsch. Tried to take over the town. They didn't go well for her, and she's gone into as far as I could tell, as far as I know, she's gone into hiding, or she's disappeared off the map. You aren't the first people to come looking for her. And she goes into a whisper again. I think there might be somebody after her that's a lot more scary than anybody I could ever think of. A group came in here a while back looking for her. They did not. They dressed as elves. They looked like elves, but they were not elves.
Interesting. Do you know, by any chance, where she might be now, or some of her?
The only thing I know is that this group who was looking for her had scoured they were following her people from Convergence. Apparently, some of her people left Convergence heading this direction, and they were unable to find what they were looking for along the way. Other than that, I haven't heard where she might have been. Judging from this group of people, she was probably running scared. I wouldn't want to tangle with them.
Good to know. Now, another question. Do you know anything about an airship? Basically a big cargo ship or passenger ship that flies around?
She blinks at you. Oh yeah. I had heard about that. It was supposed to be traveling to Orkland. Left here a while ago. She would give you the right date for it having left Kartuk. The GM doesn't know off the top of his head. it was going to make its inaugural visit down to Convergence and then head to Orkland, and supposed to be the fastest way to get across the seas or the airs, get across anyway to get down to Orkland. At least until the elves let the train line through, which they don't sound like they're gonna. But brain fart. She's
Any
like, yeah.
rumors about what happened to it?
Well, no, it was supposed to. Now that you mention it, there wasn't any news about it ever arriving in Orkland, because it should have been in Orkland months ago at this point. I would have thought I heard something about it, but do you think something happened to it?
I'd had a hint before that possibly Anya was on it or involved with its disappearance. I'm not sure. Just some rumor I'm letting you share in.
Ooh, juicy. I tell you what. Meet me tomorrow morning for breakfast, and tell me more about what may have happened to this airship. And she kind of leans in conspiratorially, and just for you, I won't charge you anything at all.
I wink and flash a smile. I flip her a couple breaths anyway.
Her like at the smile, her cheeks heat just ever so slightly, you notice, and she takes the brass, puts it into her bag, and says, "See you tomorrow for breakfast, my good man."
I give her a 2-finger quick salute and wander back out in the streets just to wander around, waste time.
All right. Heading on to Grunthos. Grunthos, you were headed to the Temple of Daha.
Yes.
You wander around for a while and realize that you are completely lost. You've gotten directions 3 times, and you keep getting lost. This is an unfamiliar town to you. It's bigger than Orkland. It's bigger than Convergence. It's probably the largest town you've ever been in.
Without a doubt.
And give me an intelligence roll, please. Oh, okay. So, eventually you find a temple. And the thing you don't notice on entering the temple is that it is in fact not, or it's not even a temple. It's like a little smaller than a temple. Anyway.
Shrine?
Yeah, it's kind of a shrine. It's a little bigger than a shrine, but like a little place. So you head in, and you're like, "Oh, I finally found it." I think you whisper them. I'm not 100% sure.
I can just tell you how afterwards at that if you want.
Okay. So you head in, and you quickly come to realize that this temple is not to Daha, but instead to Zaib. This is Zaib is a god. She is a chaos god. Fairly small following. She's not evil, but she's definitely a trickster. And when you turn around, this place, you realize, is laid out in such a way that the exit to this room is not nearly as obvious as the entrance was when you came in.
Doggone it.
Give me... Okay, so you have... Which spear do you have?
Fire spear.
You have the fire spear. Okay, so you wander around this room for a little while, trying to find your way out. Um, eventually, you get to like the front like area. There's a priest hanging out at the front. He kind of blinks at you a little bit and says, he says to you, well, "You're not the one I expected."
This isn't the place I expect.
He sighs kind of wearingly. Uh we were expecting somebody similar to you, or similar to be carrying something similar to what you're carrying. He kind of motions at the spear in your handy haver quiver. But well, sometimes the goddess likes to play tricks on us as well. Can I help you? You look concerned or lost, or I mean,
I was trying to find the temple to Daha. I look around very quizzically and almost confused.
he smiles at you. Yeah, sometimes people who lose their way find their way here. I think it's the goddess playing a little trick on them. I tell you what, if you take, and he gives you a set of instructions that are way easier than the previous instructions you had received, and let them know when you arrive that Zaib's little lost one has found his way. I'd appreciate it. They love it when those who are looking for spring find themselves a little longer in winter and eventually find their way to spring. Zaib is, to make the player get the reference, Zaib is the last month of winter. Pearl. Upon turning around to look at the back of the room, you realize that this room is a simple, like, it's got a couple of places to like kneel or otherwise, but like the door is right there. It's not confusing at all. The door is right there.
Trudge out. Thank you.
He smiles at you and waves, and you find your way to the Temple of Daha from here. It's like 3 blocks away. You don't know how you missed it. You're sure you walked right past it on your previous set of instructions, but yeah, you know, this it's like right there, and you get the sense of someone happy with the trick they played on you in the back of your mind as you walk up to the Temple of Daha. All right, so this place is bustling. It's not as active as it would have been a few days ago, as it is into the month of Jade. So the nearly daily ceremonies and things to Daha have passed as spring has or as spring has moved into more spring. I don't know how I want to say that. As the time has turned onto the next portion of spring. But then there are, you know, priests and priestesses working around doing their duties as they do, all the sort of thing you would expect here.
First of all, I ask someone some priestess of if there's any news from Orc.
News from Orkland? She thinks, news from Orkland. You know, there might be. There was something. I don't remember what. Give me a few minutes to ask somebody, and I'll see if I can find anything out for you.
Also, could you check if there's maybe any messages for Grantos or messages from Keep?
All right, I'll ask. I'll let you know if there was anything. I'm assuming you, sir, are Grunthos?
Yes, I am.
She smiles at you. You know, we don't get many kobolds around here. I'll go see if there are any messages for kobolds, because that's probably how they. Anyway, yeah, just I'll be back soon. She
Thank
waves a little bit and heads off.
And I just do an exasperated half prayer thing while I'm waiting.
You in your thing, you get a calm like feeling. Stress you're feeling kind of melts away a little bit. You feel like a just a sense of calm fills you as you do. After a little bit, same priestess comes back. She has a letter in her hand. It is addressed to Grunthos, and then in another hand, like written in a different person's writing, you see on it kobold, and then like a short description of like how tall you are and stuff like that.
How short I am.
How short you are, yeah. She says, well, this looks like it's for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. It is a letter from your sister. Nothing too critical in it. Asking, basically, hoping that the letter finds you, asking you to respond where you are, thanking you for the updates you've been giving her, that sort of thing. Telling you basically the village is safe. It has been quiet in Orkland for the past few weeks. There was some sort of trial that she didn't fully understand or hear about. But she has the sense that justice was served, and so she's pleased by that. Anything else you want to do here in?
Just as I've been calmed a bit by an half-baked attempt at a prayer, I'll just spend another hour and a half in trying to meditate, going deeper
All right.
into the thing.
Give me a wisdom save, please. You try to meditate. You're able to meditate for a while, and then you find yourself unable to reach a full meditative or prayer state. You're not exactly sure what's unsettling, but you feel the urge to move, to go, to be, to like. It's not really a wanderlust, but if you get that, like you've been sitting for too long and you need to get up and walk around. It's a little bit more than that, and a little bit less than like full. I've been in this town for 3 weeks and I can't stand it anymore and I want to leave.
Well, time to find the weasel.
All right, you find you wander for like 20 minutes and you notice a subtle shift in the world, and you're standing before the Wascally Weasel, or I forget now what the name of the place is. The shift was ever so slight, and you get the feeling of the first day of spring, that kind of warm, and that first day in spring where you don't have to wear a coat and it's like warm and just a little more humid than it has been outside, and you could smell the green stuff growing and waking up, and yep, you find yourself standing outside of the inn.
I go in and see if I see people. If I don't see anybody, I get 4 rooms.
I think Holic has gotten here before you, just by judging who's been doing what.
Otherwise, drinks.
This place has good bar service, although they don't have bar maids going around, so you have to walk up to the table or walk up to the bar. There are 3 goblins elsewhere in the bar. They seem to be playing a game of dice or something. You're not 100% sure what they're doing. They're rolling a set of dice. You're not exactly sure the game they're playing. There's probably a half a dozen humans here, and they're no, I'm not gonna go with that because that would do. Yeah. So as you approach the bar, the barkeep like motions off. There's like a set of steps up so that you don't have to like climb a stool to get to the bar. So that, shorter people who come here are able to get to bar level without having to fight for it. And he looks at you. What can I get you, little man?
Strongest thing you have.
He smiles at you. He looks at your skin and at your horns, and so you want the dragon's tongue then?
Yes, please.
So he sets before you a tumbler, not so I forget what the official name is. The shorter like whiskey, it's not a whiskey glass. Straight sided, probably 2-inch around, probably 2-inch tall glass. He drops a piece of player knowledge, dry ice. It's a white frozen substance in the bottom of it. And then he gets out a bottle. It's dusty, from behind the bar, and pours in this liquor. And so the liquor kind of pours over this dry ice in the bottom of it, and it instantly congeals. And so there's like this this. It looks everything in the world like a dragon's tongue in the center of this glass of like thicker liquid, and the coming out near the tip of it, you see like little bubbles, and the almost looks like smoke rising up out of it, but then goes over the glass, the carbon dioxide smoke or steam as the air condenses. It is a blue drink, and it's got the cold coming off of it. And he smiles and says, I hope you like it. I wouldn't let anybody without your bloodline taste it.
I chuckle and ask how much.
He goes, it's probably 2 bronze. It's probably 1 bronze per glass. Which, just a beer would be a couple copper, maybe. It's not cheap.
Nope, I don't care.
Okay. This drink is not at all sweet. It is got a wintergreen or a mint. It's very, like, the drink itself is very cold from the dry ice, and the alcohol is got some sort of wintergreen or mint flavor in it that also tastes kind of cold, so you kind of get that double cold. And be glad that you're a dragon, otherwise you would be making a Constitution save right now. But because of your dragon blood, you are immune to the effects. But it is strongly alcoholic. The tongue in the middle is like, as you tip it back to drink of it, the warmth of your breath causes it to melt and flow into your mouth, and very cold, but like refreshingly so. All right, Hollick, you are here, or you have been here for a little bit. You see Grunthos come in, order a drink at the bar.
I wave.
Hmm?
When he enters, I wave.
Yeah, of course I sit down with Hollock. Is pure friendship.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think the next person to arrive is probably Horgold.
I'll just sit on the table where they're sitting.
All right, and then finally, not long after that, Tuco, you come in.
Oh, before I walk up to the table, I just want to take a moment to stop and look at them, see if they just try to get a read from them, and then I guess I'll wander over and sit down.
Did anybody book a room already?
I did.
Ah, sweet.
The rooms were inexpensive, probably 2 bronze a night per room.
How long are we planning to stay?
Well, you guys want to go here to find out about some stuff here, and yeah, we can discover more maybe tomorrow, ask around. So at least one day.
I actually have no clue why we are here. But I got some news from Auckland per mail. Apparently, we are now the legal owners of the ship, but we have to do some paperwork when we get back.
Ah, sweet.
Samalander, Out of curiosity, the letter from Kiva where it was her thanking me for updates. The letter addressed to a kobold.
The letter was addressed to you, and in somebody else's hand, it was written a kobold.
Oh.
Like, to make sure the letter got to the right sort of person.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what's our next step? I think we can ask around here a little bit more, but we know that Anya is not here or the troops are not here. We know actually nothing more than we already did, except that she's nowhere to be found.
I have something I want to tell you guys. Weird things are happening to me. Like, very weird.
What kind of weird?
Tell me more.
First of all, you've probably noticed I drink and I don't get drunk.
Well, that's a blessing.
When I was walking from the temple to here, I was walking and all of a sudden I was here. Like I'm not even sure how I got here. I just got here. And the most worrying thing for last, I seem to have some sort of weird craving for iron.
And
That's not good.
I think with that, we will leave it there for the week. So, everybody, thank you for watching. It's been great having you here. We'll be back again next weekend. It's been a lot of fun having you. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.